Hare Krishna, everyone. Welcome to Srila Prabhupada Book Reading Club. This is the morning session, and in the morning session, we are trying to cover the small books of Srila Prabhupada. And we are currently on a book, Lord Chaitanya, his life and his teachings. And we are in a very important part, that like discussion between Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Rai. Okay, but we need to go little depth. So we are covering this part from the book Teachings of Lord Chaitanya. They are a little more descriptive. So let's start our session with offering prayers to our senior acharyas and Guru Parampara. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshuram Militam Yena Tasmai Sri Guruve Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Katamayam Dadatin Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Uttapadakamalam Sri Guru Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathanvitam Sajeevam साद्वैतम सावधूतम परिजन सहित कृष्ण चैतन्य देवम श्री राधा कृष्ण पादान सहगन ललिता श्री विशाखान्वितांच हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधो जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरि प्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामिन इति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय। And also let's start class taking the darshan of a Gaur-Nitai. Okay, let me show you. So this is the Tulsi Maharani and Guru Parampara Gaur-Nitai Panchatattva Narsimha Bhagwan and our Gaur-Nitai. Is it visible?
Yes, Mataji, very much. Yeah. Can you zoom in a little bit? Yes. Jai Gaurnita.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Here our a real position is that we are the servant and the servant of the lotus feet of the pure devotees. Okay. So our real position is at the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, where we can render the service. And even we can learn from the Damodar Leela, Yashoda Maya was seeing the Krishna, and she is feeding the Lord Krishna milk, and she is seeing the Lord Krishna, and how beautiful it is, the master of the universe, controller of the universe is in your lap, and he is drinking milk, and he is very beautiful, and you are simply looking at Lord Krishna. But on other hand, there's milk is boiling, and and the milk is committing suicide. Why he's trying to commit suicide? Because he is saying that okay, Yashoda Maya is feeding milk to her, and then what is use of my life, because I am unable to serve Krishna. So yes, and because in the spiritual world, even the stone, leaves, fruits, flowers, and the milk, even the vessels, everyone is alive. They can speak, they have the feelings, and everyone is trying to serve Krishna. So he's thinking that I don't have what is the use of me? I'm unable to serve Lord Krishna. Then it's better to commit suicide. So he is trying to come out of that vessel. But by seeing this, Yashoda Maya is meditating upon the Lord Krishna. But at the same time, she is seeing that milk is coming out. So she kept the Lord Krishna aside, and she operate the overflowing milk. And so what we can learn from this, that simply by seeing Krishna, like a devotees prefer to serve Krishna because for whom she is preparing the sweets and from for whom she is boiling the milk so that she can offer some sweets and she can offer that milk to Lord Krishna. So devotees don't just prefer to see the Lord, but they prefer to serve the Lord. So instead of simply going in the temple and simply meditating upon, yes, it is important. Na? We also seen in the Mukundmala Stotra that when you meditate upon the beautiful form of Lord Krishna, our lusty desires goes away. And also we can replicate the beautiful darshans of Lord Krishna and Radha and inside our heart. So yes, meditation is also important, but simply by seeing the Lord, the seva is more important. So we should try to serve the Lord in as much as it is possible. So okay, let's start our reading session. So till now we've seen that Lord Chaitanya asked Ramananda Rai uh, to tell about that how we should advance in the spirituality. Then Ramananda Rai said by simply by performing rituals or simply simply by doing the prescribed duties we can develop the love for Lord Krishna. But Lord Chaitanya rejected this because he said that if you simply follow the prescribed duties and simply follow the rules and regulations, they all are external and they are not going to free you from the material conditioning. So these are simply discharge the ritualistic activities wasn't sufficient. Na? They are the external and devotional service is something internal. Then and even we see that Lord Chaitanya is saying Lord Vishnu is not satisfied by simply doing the ritualistic activities. Lord Vishnu is satisfied when we develop the pure love for Lord Krishna or Lord Vishnu, and when we render service with the bhakti and with the love. So then second, he give the arguments uh, argument that okay, if you give up all if you give the results of our activities to Lord, then we can develop the love for Lord Krishna. So, but Lord Chaitanya reject this also. Why he rejected? Because okay, we are acting, but we are acting for our own sense gratification, and whatever we are doing, we are simply trying to offer it. And even if you do this, simply try to offer all the results of our activities, but it's not going to develop the love for Krishna because it's not going to erase our material conditioning. Okay, then he put the third argument from the Srimad Bhagavatam 11th canto 11th shloka 11th chapter 32 shloka that we have to take the renunciation. But Lord Chaitanya also rejected. Oh, you don't have to take the premature renunciation. You should take the renunciation, but when you develop detachment for all the material things, and when you have most important, when you have attachment to the lotus feet of Krishna, you have to fully dedicate yourself in the service of Lord Krishna. And but if you take the premature renunciation, you will again you are going to think about, oh, why should I take the renunciation? Better I get married, or better I will have the children. I will enjoy in that way. So Raj Chaitanya also reject this because what devotees do, they follow the principle of yukta vairagya. Even someone give them money, even Krishna give them a lot of money, they don't say, oh, if I get the money, I will be fall in a maya. No, whatever opulences, whatever assets they got, they use in a service of Lord Krishna. Okay, this is the yukta vairagya. They don't say no to anything, they accept everything and engage in Krishna's service. So then Ramananda Rai said, then Lord Chaitanya also reject third proposal. Then Ramananda Rai said, then Brahman realization is a supreme. But Lord Chaitanya also reject this. Why Lord Chaitanya reject this? Because this is not full knowledge. Na? Yes, we can see the sun rays, sunlight, but this is not the sun. Behind that sun, there is a sun globe, sun planet, and a sun planet is also not entire information. Like inside the sun planet, there is a sun deity known as the Surya Narayana. So when we get the knowledge about all of these three things, then our knowledge is complete. So similarly, we have the Brahman realization, Paramatma realization, and then a Bhagwan realization. Bhagwan realization is the supreme. So we cannot simply satisfied ourselves simply going in a Brahman and simply stay there ideally. Like we also seen that na, like we are not going to merge with the Brahman na, like we will be stay there as a spiritual spark, and out of boredom, like we get the out of boredom, we again fall in a like again fall in the this material planets, because there is no service, there is no relishment of the rasas. So yes, there is again fall down, and so Brahman realization is not a supreme, and it is not a complete spiritual knowledge. So Lord Chaitanya also reject this. So Hare Krishna, now we can continue. Okay, we have to go to the Brahma. Just give me 1 minute. Yes. Yes. Hare Krishna, Sarita Mataji, can you read from the Lord Chaitanya?
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Lord Chaitanya, however, also rejected this proposal because simply by renouncing uh, material results in Brahman realization, one does not realize the spiritual world and spiritual activities. Although there is no material contamination when one attains the stage of Brahman realization, in that stage, one is still not perfectly pure because there is no positive engagement in spiritual activity. Because it is still on the mental plane, it is external. The pure living entity is not liberated unless he is completely engaged in spiritual activity. As long as one is absorbed in impersonal thoughts or in thoughts of the void, one's entrance into an external is an external. Uh, sorry, into an eternal blissful life is of knowledge is not complete. When spiritual knowledge is not complete, one will be hindered in his attempt to cleanse the mind of all material variegatedness. Thus, impersonalists are frustrated in their attempts to make the mind void by artificial meditation. It is very difficult to void the mind of all material conceptions. In Bhagavad Gita 12.5, it is stated that those who indulge in such impersonal meditation find it very difficult to make spiritual advancement. In addition, whatever state they do attain is not complete liberation. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya rejected it. After his fourth proposal was rejected, Ramananda Raya said that devotional service rendered without any attempt or mental speculation or cultivation of knowledge is the highest stage of perfection. To support this view, to give evidence, he gave evidence from Srimad Bhagavatam 10.14.3, wherein Lord Brahma tells the Supreme Personality of Godhead, ज्ञाने प्रयासमुदपास्य नमन्ति एव जीवन्ति सन्मुखरितां भवदीयवार्तां स्थाने स्थिता श्रुतिगतां तनुवान् मनोभिर्ये प्रायशो अजितजितोऽप्यसि तस्त्रिलोक्याम्. My dear Lord, one should give up monism, speculation, and the cultivation of knowledge altogether. He should begin his spiritual life in devotional service by receiving information of your activities from a realized devotee of the Lord. If one cultivates his spiritual life by adhering to these principles and keeping himself in the honest path in life, then although your lordship is never conquered, you become conquered by the devotee following such a process. When Ramananda Raya presented this proposal, Lord Chaitanya at once said, yes, this is right. In other words, Lord Chaitanya agreed that this process conforms to his mission. In this age, there is no possibility of acquiring spiritual knowledge by discharging one's duties in the Varnashrama Dharma system by devotional service, uh, mixed with fruitive activity, by renunciation or by devotional service mixed with the culture of knowledge, because most people are fallen, and because there is no time to elevate them by a gradual process, the best course, according to Lord Chaitanya, is it let them remain in whatever condition they are in, but to engage them in hearing of the activities of Supreme Lord, as those activities are explained in the Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. The transcendental messages of the scripture should be heard from the lips of realized souls. In this way, a person may continue to live in whatever condition he is and still make spiritual progress. Thus, one can surely advance and fully realize the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although Lord Chaitanya accepted these principles, he still requested Ramananda Raya to further explain advanced devotional service. Thus, Lord Chaitanya gave Ramananda Raya a chance to discuss gradual advancement from the principles of Varnashrama Dharma, the four caste and four orders of spiritual life, through the offering of the results of fruitive activity and through the speculative discussion of spiritual knowledge. Lord Chaitanya rejected all this because in the field of executing pure devotional service, there is a very little use for such principles. Without self realization, such artificial methods of devotional service cannot be accepted as pure devotional service. Self realized pure devotional service is completely different from all other kind of transcendental activity. The highest stage of transcendental activity is always free from all the material desires, fruitive efforts, and speculative attempts at knowledge. In the highest stage, one concentrate on the simple, favorable execution of pure devotional service. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you. Should I continue or?
Mataji, yes, you should continue.
Yeah. Ramananda Raya could understand the motive of Lord Chaitanya and therefore he stated that attainment of pure love of Godhead is the highest perfectional stage. In the Padyavali, there is a very nice verse which is said to be composed by Ramananda Raya himself. The meaning of the verse is as long as there is hunger in the belly and one feels eating and drinking, one can become happy by taking various eatables. Similarly, there may be much paraphernalia for worshipping the Supreme Lord, but only when that worship is mixed with pure love of Godhead does it become an actual source of transcendental happiness. Another verse composed by Ramananda Raya states, even after millions and millions of births of pious activities, one cannot achieve a sense of devotional service. But if somehow or other one desires to attain devotional service, the association of a pure devotee will make it possible. Thus, from any valuable source, one should try to acquire a strong desire to engage in devotional service. In these two verses, Ramananda Raya has described the regulative principles and developed love of Godhead respectively. Lord Chaitanya wanted to bring him to the stage of devotional love of Godhead. And devotional, uh, where is it? And he wanted him to speak from that platform. Thus, the discussion between Ramananda Raya and Lord Chaitanya will now proceed on the basis of love of Godhead. If the love of Godhead is elevated to personal affinity, it is called Prema Bhakti. In the beginning of Prema Bhakti, a particular relationship between the Supreme Lord and devotee is not established. But when Prema Bhakti develops, a relationship with the Supreme Lord is manifested in different transcendental flavors. The first stage is servitude, wherein the Supreme Lord is accepted as the master and the devotee as his eternal servitor. When Lord Chaitanya accepted this process, Ramananda Raya described the relationship between the servitor and the master. He cited a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 9.5.16, spoken by Durvasa Muni, a great mystic yogi who considered himself very elevated and envied Maharaja Amrisha, who was known as the greatest devotee of the time. In an attempt to harass Maharaja Amrisha, Durvasa Muni had met with an great catastrophe and had been defeated by the Sudarshana Chakra of the Lord. Durvasa Muni admitted his fault and said, for pure devotees who are always engaged in transcendental loving service of the Lord, whose very name is sufficient for liberation, nothing is considered impossible. Hare Krishna. In the Stotra Ratna 43, Yamunacharya writes, my Lord, those who keep themselves independent of your service and are helpless. They work on their own account and thus receive no support from superior authority. Therefore, I long for the time when I shall engage fully in your transcendental loving service without any desire for material satisfaction and without hovering on the mental plane. Only when I engage in such unalloyed devotional service will I enjoy actual spiritual life. Upon hearing the statement, the Lord requested Ramananda Raya to go still further. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Just now we can see like how beautiful it is. So Lord also reject the fourth proposal that that a Brahman realization, because uh, it's not a full spiritual realization. In Brahman realization, we don't have idea about the spiritual planets. We don't have idea there is a personal form of Lord Krishna, and like where we can reciprocate with the Lord, and like we can serve the Lord in a different rasas, and so they don't have the complete spiritual knowledge. So like Lord Chaitanya reject this also. Then like Ramananda Rai said, the devotional service rendered without attempt of the cultivation of knowledge and mental speculation is the highest stage. And like he quoted from the Canto 10, 14 shloka and third verse, that one should give up the monastic speculation and cultivation of knowledge altogether, and he should engage himself in a pure transcendental devotional service, and like he shouldn't have the material desires. So like first time Lord Chaitanya agreed, yes, this is the highest perfection of life, that like we don't have to, because we have to don't have to take the big degrees, and like we have to boast ourselves, okay, I have a lot of knowledge, and like we are also gaining the knowledge by mental speculation, and we also have the material desires. So like on this platform we are not able to do the pure devotional service. This will be the karma mishrit bhakti, or Jnana Mishrit Bhakti. It is not a unalloyed devotional service. It is not the Shuddha Bhakti. Okay, so then Lord don't like the fruitive activity mixed with the devotional service or the cultivation of knowledge, means Karma Mishri Bhakti and Jnana Mishrit Bhakti. So Krishna is only pleased by the pure devotional service. And yes, why the varna, this is the system, firstly, like you have to do the prescribed duties, then you will come to the platform where you are able to offer the results of your work to Lord Krishna. And then when we will come on the platform, you will take the renunciation, and after that you will develop you will get the Brahmin realization, and after that you will develop the love for Lord Krishna. So these are the steppings, these are the steps, yeah? These are the stepping stones. But but Lord Chaitanya reject all of them, because let them remain in whatever condition they are, but engage them in a hearing and hearing activities of Supreme Lord. So it will take the crores of lifetimes to come, or to grow, to go on the next level, na? So it will take a crores of lifetime, and then why we have to suffer for the crores of lifetime? So because ultimate goal is developing love for Lord Krishna, then why we have to go for all the processes? They are okay, from this you have to go on the 500 floor, 500 floor, and you have the two options: go from the steps, and you have the another option is lift. From the lift you can easily go, but when you want to go, when you want to reach the 500 floor, by using the steps, it will take a long time, and it is also going to damage your health, and it will be painful. So instead of choosing the steps, better to choose the lift. You can reach that ultimate goal with the less efforts also, and within the less time also, with the less suffering, within the less time we can achieve the love for Lord Krishna through the Bhakti Yoga. And for Bhakti Yoga, what we have to do? We have to simply engage our ears in attentive hearing of the Hari Katha and the holy name. From whom? From the lips of realized souls. So it is not just about the hearing, but how we have to hear. We have to hear with the rapt attention, with the anxiety. Okay, I have to hear more. I have to hear about the Supreme Lord, and we should have a faith, and we shouldn't ask the challenging question to the speaker. And a speaker, when it comes to the speaker, he should be authorized. He is from the authorized parampara system, and he should be a realized soul. Okay, and many of us will say, oh Mataji, Like I stay in some I stay in remote area where like I'm unable to take the temple association. We have internet, and even if you have some internet issue, we have the Srila Prabhupada books. Srila Prabhupada is a pure devotee. Okay, so like simply by reading his book, we are associating with the pure devotee, and Srila Prabhupada has shared his realizations inside the books. Okay, so like you have no excuses. Oh, Mataji, I don't have this and that. Like yes, simply take the books and start reading. So, like reading books don't require the internet connection, or it don't require like light or anything. It simply requires your little time, and you have to give that time. Okay. So, like they are also further discuss about the Varnashrama system. Yes, this Varnashrama system is for that. Like, so we will gradually develop the love for Krishna. But like, why we have to go via steps? Like on other hand, we can go with the lifts. So like, yes, we should prefer the lift. We should prefer the bhakti yoga rather than like falling in the karma yoga, then jnana yoga, and then Brahman realization, then Paramatma realization. Okay. So yes, and there is also one shloka in Nectar of Devotion, Anya Bhilashita Shunya Jnana Karma Anavritam. So like yes, like we should be like when we want to develop pure love for Lord Krishna, like we should be always free from the material desires, fruitive efforts, and speculative attempts. So we don't have to mentally speculate. We don't have to we don't need to have like some material desires, because like material desires are temporary and they are ultimately going to put you in a suffering. And if fruitive efforts what your like whatever you will this material needs are not going to over. Like if you get the one car, you want the advanced version. If you want one house, like then you want the two houses. There is no end, and like this fruit will be going to perish with the like with the perishing of this body. So these are the temporary, and why we should think of these temporary things. So, and the highest stage, the concentrate on the simple, favorable execution of a devotional service. So, like, yes, we have to concentrate on what? The simple and the favorable execution. You know, Krishna has the flute. Flute is very simple, na? Like inside out it is the same. Like inside there is no what we call the kapata, or like inside it is not a duplicious. Like inside out it is very simple. And you know, like whatever service we are doing, like we should do it from the heart. Like in heart there should be not heart. Like okay, I'm rendering service, so I should be liberated. You know, I'm rendering service, so Krishna should be reciprocate me. So we cannot just bind by Krishna. Okay, if I am putting effort, so Krishna should give me results. No, like Krishna is independent. If he want, he can give the result. If he don't want, he won't give the results. Okay, and like yes, so our service should be simple. Okay, I'm doing out of affection, out of love for my Krishna. And second is a favorable execution of pure devotional service. Okay, we are saying that like whatever activities we are doing, we have to do it for Krishna's pleasure. So like it doesn't mean that like okay, I like onion garlic, so I will make the bhoga with the onion garlic and offer to Krishna. Okay, like Krishna said that we should hear the Harikatha. So like I can go on the internet and whimsically I can start hearing Harikatha from everyone. No. Like a favorable means okay, you have to hear the Harikatha, go like hear from the Pramanik Guru, hear from someone who is from the bona fide Sampradaya. And like yes, like uh, you have to execute the devotional service favorable for Krishna. Whatever Krishna says, like you have to do. If one person comes in our house and like he says, okay, I don't like this rice. Okay, like I have some bloating issues. If I eat rice, I will have a bloating. So I simply take the fruits and some milk or like some roti. But like but you have to serve that serve the guest. So like but he said that he don't like rice, but you are preparing rice and like items made up of rice, and you are offering to the guest. So it is favorable for a guest? No, it is not favorable. So like we have to serve, but as a Krishna likes, as a Krishna want, not according to our mind. Okay, so yes, like what is the highest perfectional stage for the human life, and what is the aim of human life is to develop love for Lord Krishna, to the Supreme Personality of a Godhead. And Yamuna, in a Patyavali, Ramananda Rai himself writes some like a shlokas that as long as there is a hunger in the belly, one feels like to eating and drinking. One can become happy by taking anything eatable. So, like, yes, when you are hungry, like you don't say na like if I simply give the piece of roti, you will eat it. Like you won't say whatever our mom say na you do lot of nakra. So like a bit like when we have the when we are very hungry, we don't say, I want this particular thing. We will eat like whatever we will get. And so similarly, there are many much paraphernalia for worshipping Supreme Lord, but when it is a mix with a pure love of a Godhead, it becomes actually source of a transcendental happiness. Okay, we are mechanically offering arti, we are mechanically offering bhoga, but like when it is a mix with the pure devotional service, like when it is a mix with our love, our bhakti, then like we will get the transcendental happiness. So we can see, okay, I'm not getting transcendental happiness, maybe because I am just whatever spiritual activities I'm trying to do, I'm simply doing mechanical. My heart is not there, like my love is not there. So that's why like I'm not getting the transcendental happiness. But when I develop the love, when my heart gets purified, then like I can also feel this transcendental bliss or transcendental happiness. And here, like Ramananda Rai also said that after millions and millions of a birth, one cannot achieve the sense of a devotional service. Okay, if we do this mechanical activities for millions and billions of birth, still we are not going to get this, or we cannot achieve this pure devotional service. But we can achieve this pure devotional service only by one thing, and like only within this life. How? That we have to associate with the pure devotee, and we have to render the service to the pure devotees. And like one should, and we have to adopt our life in a such a way that like we should have a strong desire to engage in a devotional service. So, like, how does desires come? Like we also see now, like with association, the desires and habits come. So, if we associate with the pure, like a pure devotee, like what the desires of pure devotee, simply to satisfy and simply to develop more and more love to the supreme Lord. So, when we associate with the devotees, his desire will become with us due to the association. So, and we have to develop the strong desire. So here we can see, if we simply try to come on the stage to develop the love for Krishna simply by putting our efforts, so it will take them and by the mechanical activities, it will take the millions and billions of life, but millions of billions of births. But if we associate with the pure devotee, and like by association, when there is a strong desire to develop love for Lord Krishna and strong desire to do the devotional service, then within this lifetime we can achieve this perfection. So, yes, as usual, associate with a pure devotee means reading Srila Prabhupada books, because Srila Prabhupada is the most pure devotee of Lord Krishna. And like when we are reading, means we are associating with the Srila Prabhupada, and even the Srila Prabhupada will say, "Now, like, I'm not going to die. I will live with you in a form of my books, in a form of my instruction." So yes, we are reading books means we have to take out the instruction, we have to follow the instruction, and like our mind is not that much poor, our senses are not that much poor, so in many cases we may misunderstand the instructions. So for this, like we should consult the senior devotees before implementing anything. Okay, so yes, we have to come on the platform of a prema bhakti. So in a prema bhakti, first stage is the servitude. We have to become the servant of the Lord. We serve the Lord as he is our master. And it is it is given like Ramananda Rai also given the example from the Srimad Bhagavatam, 9th canto, 5 chapter, 16th verse. Like a Durvasa Muni, who was the majestic yogi, and he used to consider himself very elevated. And he is the envy of a Maharaj Ambrisha, because he is the greatest devotee at that time. So he cursed the Ambrish Maharaja, and like when he cursed the Ambrish Maharaja, then Lord Krishna get angry and he threw the Sudarshan Chakra towards him, and and like he was running here and there to like a three lokas, and like he was asking like how this Sudarshan Chakra, how can I get rid of this Sudarshan Chakra? Even he reached to the Narayana, then he said that uh, if you like insult me, I can forgive you. But if you insult my pure devotee, I'm not going to forgive you. So like Krishna, like if you, so like Krishna is not going to forgive you. Even like we can take this, like when we are initiated, our karma get nil, and then whatever bad activities we do, that karma is that bad karma is get transferred to our gurus, and they suffer for that. They are voluntarily taking that bad sinful actions. So Krishna says, okay, you are doing the sinful act for one time. Okay, I will forgive you. Okay, you are doing second time, I will forgive you. You are doing the third time. Okay, I can forgive you. But when you are repeatedly doing the sinful activities, then Krishna, like even like our Guru Maharaj say, na, I will never, I'm not going to reject anyone. I will never reject anyone. But like, yes, Guru will not reject everyone, like because they are very compassionate. But Krishna will not forgive you. Okay, Krishna is not going to forgive you because you are offending the pure devotee of Lord Krishna. So we have to be very careful because even in like we read na, Lord Chaitanya accept the most sinful person, but on one uh, rule and on one promise that you are not going to commit the sinful reaction, the same sinful reaction from now after taking the initiation. So you are not going to commit the same mistakes, same sinful actions. Okay. So yes, Durvasa Muni then admitted this: the four pure devotees who are always engaged in a transcendental loving service of a Lord. Like what is here written, the transcendental loving service of a Lord, not a mechanical. Okay, nothing is considered impossible, for they engage in a service of a supreme Lord, whose name is a sufficient for a liberation. Okay, Krishna's name is a simply is a sufficient for the liberation. Okay, and like for devotees nothing is impossible. Even we can see at the age of 70 how can he propagate a sanatan dharma to entire world, and at the age of 70 how he can write this much, and like how can he can go in western countries and develop 108 temples all over the world. So it is impossible na, but it has come true. Why? Because he is a pure devotee, and like he's always engaging himself in a pure devotional service. So yes, and the Yamunacharya in a Stotra Ratna 46 shloka, he's saying that, my Lord, those who keep themselves independent of your service are helpless, and they work on their own account and they receive no support from the superior authority. So like yes, we are working we are working independent of a independent of a Lord's service, and we are in helpless condition. Yes, we are helpless because we are not dependent on Krishna, and like we are working according to our own senses and according to our own mind. On we are working on our own account. So like we are like Krishna give independence. If you work according to me, if you follow if you try to serve me, if you try to please me, I will provide you all the things, as he has provided to the Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada has nothing, but Lord Krishna provided him everything. But on other hand, if you act if you act to gratify your senses, then you will only suffer, and then you won't get support from the superior authority. So if we follow the instruction of a guru and Krishna, then Krishna will provide you everything you need. But if you simply try to gratify your senses, you are not going to follow their instruction, then they are not going to provide you anything. Okay, and then you won't receive the support from the supreme authority. So even we can see now, like even a government servant, if he is a working favorable to the government according to the rules and regulations of a government, the government will provide him a car, government will provide him a servants, government will provide him the house, government will take care of all of his things. But when he when he try to cheat the government, when he try to loot the government, we are trying to gratify our senses, means we are looting the Krishna's property na? So for ourselves. So when he is not utilizing the like uh, things provided by government in government service, then he may go to the jail, and he may all of his facilities can be taken by the government again. So we have to like, okay, Krishna is the supreme lord, he is the owner of entire universes. Whatever assets I have, it's a given by Krishna, and I have to engage that assets in Krishna's service, not in my sense gratification. If we are using it for sense gratification, then we are not going to receive the support from the authority. Okay. And further it is written, therefore I long for a time when I shall be fully in a transcendental loving service without any desire for material satisfaction, without being confined to the mental plane. So yes, like we don't have to mentally speculate, or we shouldn't have the this material desire for this. We have to pray to our acharyas. We have to pray to the Lord Krishna that, oh please, please. Please, I shouldn't have, I don't want to have this mental speculation, I don't want to have these material desires, but currently I'm not that much purified, can you please purify my desires? And we are also seeing that like mind's nature is to like thinking, feeling, willing. So like, but we have the choice, like to think, feel, or like will about the material things or the spiritual things. And when we choose the spiritual things, it's not going to feel about like thinking, feeling, willing about these material things. So we have to not only restrain from the material senses, but also we have material activities, but we also have to engage ourselves in the spiritual activities. Okay. So yes, the only when I engage in a such unalloyed devotional service, I will enjoy the actual spiritual life. So, okay, we are getting up early morning, we are attending Mangalarti, like we are hearing, we are chanting, but we are not feeling the actual, we are not actually enjoying the spiritual life. But when we will enjoy the actual spiritual life, when will we enjoy the actual real happiness, spiritual happiness, when we develop the unallowed devotional service, which is free from the material desires and which is free from the mental speculation. So Hare Krishna, today we can end here, and then we can move to the mental Mukund Mala Stotra. Hare Krishna. Yes, Muttamanikam Prabhu, you can reading, you can start reading. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
And this Mukund Mala Stotra is so wonderful, na? Like we are learning many things from this. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, you can start.
Translation.
So we are on 13 shloka, okay?
30.
30 shloka.
Translation. He is the jewel riding on the back of Garuda, who carries away the Lord's devotee on his wings. He is the magic jewel protecting the three worlds. The jewel like cloud attracting the Chataka bird eyes of the gopis, and the jewel among all who gesture carefully. He is the only jeweled ornament on the ample breast of Queen Rukmani, who is herself the jewel of beloved consorts. May that ground jewel of all gods and best of all the Gauhards grant us the supreme benedictions. Purport. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. In the verse of King Kulasegara gives us glimpses of Lord Krishna in some of his various Leelas. In each example, the Lord is described as many. A jewel like a jewel is he is self-effulgent, very beautiful and highly valuable. Without a jewel, a setting looks empty, and so without Krishna, Garuda would have no extraordinary importance. Although he is a large and powerful bat, without Krishna, the Gobi's eyes would have no place to rest and nothing to see. Just as a Chataka bird remains restless until it sees rain-bearing and life-giving cloud. As Lord Chaitanya says, in the mood of the Gobi, the whole world appears vacant without you. In the absence of Krishna, the gods would be without the crystal jewel, and their own value would fall away. Thus, Lord Krishna is absolutely essential figure in his own Leela in the spiritual world. as well as in all the operations of the material world. As he states in the Bhagavad Gita 7.7, everything rests upon me as pearls are strung on a thread. When a soul misuses the free will, he tries to become a center of existence and thinks he can do without Krishna. This mistake is illustrated in the story of Satrajit, who once possessed a wondrous jewel called Shyamantaka, which he wore a locket around his neck. When Satrajit entered Dwaraka, Krishna asked him to deliver the jewel to the king, Ugrasena, but instead Satrajit installed the jewel in a temple, worshipped it, and gained 170 pounds of gold daily. Because of his claim that jewel did not belong to Krishna, King Satrajit and his family suffered in many ways. The king found peace only when he realized that the Kyamantaka should be given to the supreme jewel, Lord Krishna. And so he gave both the jewel and his daughters Satyabhama to the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So yes, like Krishna is the jewel who is the riding on the back of a Garuda, and like who carries the Lord's devotee on his wings, and he's the magic jewel protecting the three worlds. Like not only the three worlds, he is protecting entire the universes, and a jaw like a cloud attracting the Chatika bird eyes of a gopis. Like a Chataka bird, she only drinks the like a rain droplets, like directly falling from the rain, like from the clouds. He do not accept any water. So like even the gopis eyes, they only they only accept the Krishna's pastime. They only accept like their eyes only want to see the Krishna. So like we can also apply this now, like when there is no Krishna in any activity, I'm not going to perform that activity. When there is an or like there is no Krishna in the center of that activity, I'm not going to do that activities. So in my life, whatever activities I'm doing, they are like in center there must be Krishna. So yes, like here's the ornament on like ornament like a Rukmini Devi have, and like yes, like Rukmini Devi himself is a jewel like in below the concerts, and like, he's the crown jewel of all the gods, and he's the best of the cowherds, and like grant us the supreme benediction. So yes, like why he's a compared to the jewel, because this a jewel is a self-effulgent. A jewel is a very beautiful, and it is a highly valuable. So without a jewel, the ring setting also looks empty. So without Krishna, the Garuda would have no extraordinary importance, even he's a very large and powerful bird. So like we are like a zeros, and like when we don't have the one in front of us, like when we do not prioritize Krishna, when we do not work for Krishna, then like we have no value. But when we work for Krishna, when we try to satisfy Krishna, like when we prioritize Krishna, then we get some importance, some value. So like prioritizing Krishna, like when we introduce Krishna in our life, then our lives become beautiful. Like whatever amount of wealth we have, whatever education we have, whatever knowledge we have, all things are useless until we have Krishna in the center. Okay, so yes, like we have no value when there is no Krishna in our life, and there is no value of any work when there is no Krishna at the center of any work. So like without Krishna, Gopi's eyes would have no place to rest and nothing to see. Like just as a Chataka bird remains restless until it sees the rain-bearing and life-giving cloud. So even the Lord Chaitanya says that uh, in in the mood of a gopi, the whole world appears vacant without you. So like, but we like when there is no Krishna, we don't feel the like entire world is vacant. We try to enjoy our senses. So this is not actually good. Like as a Chataka bird, don't accept any water from the ponds, lake, ocean, but he only only bathe and only try to get the raindrops from the cloud. He waits for the cloud with a lot of anxiety. Even the gopis eyes won't rest, like they want to see the beautiful pastimes of Lord Krishna. They have to take the darshan of a beautiful Lord Krishna. So similarly, we have to engage our senses in Krishna's service. When there is no service, like we should also feel this restlessness. Like we shouldn't, when there is a no service for Lord Krishna, like then we shouldn't stay idly. We should try to engage our senses in Krishna's service. Okay. And when there is no association of a devotees, and when there is when there is no service, we should feel suffocated. And but there is always service, na? Like when we are chanting, like we are serving the holy name, and like when we are reading, we are serving the Srila Prabhupada. So yes, we can get the association at any time by reading the Srila Prabhupada books. We can associate with the Srila Prabhupada, and we can serve by chanting the holy name. So yes, we have the opportunities, but we are not uh, like we are not taking benefit of the opportunities. Okay. So when the soul misuses his free will, he tries to become the center of the existence and thinks he can do without Krishna. So this is the sign of the Hiranyakashipu. Hiranyakashipu also want to become a most powerful, and he want to become a master of the three worlds, and he want to be the center of everything, and he try to do everything on his own power, and he want to be center. He don't want the Krishna to be the center. So when we try to gratify our senses, when we want the name, fame, like a lot of wealth, a lot of knowledge, and we are bypassing the Krishna, even we are having all of these things and we are engaging in Krishna service, then it is acceptable. But when we want to be a center of existence and we want the name, fame, and all of the things, then we are simply putting ourselves, and we are putting ourselves in a suffering, and we are misusing our free will. And yes, Krishna has given you free will to choose between a Krishna and choose between the Maya or a material conditioning. And most of the time we are choosing the material existence, not a Krishna, and that's the reason for our suffering. Okay. And we can also see the from the example, from the story of a Satyajit. He was the very good devotee of a Lord Surya Narayana. So Surya Narayana give him a Shamantaka mani. What is the speciality of this Samantha Lata mani? When you worship, then then it will give you 170 pounds of gold, not a single day, but a daily. Okay. Every single day he will receive the 170 pounds of a gold. But but this jewel get a steal, and yeah, his Lord says that you should give this jewel to this King Ugrasena, but he rejected that and he started worshiping himself. And we have that tendency. We have something, we have to show it to everyone. So everyone should appreciate us for that, whatever we have. So his brother said okay, let me take this money and let me show to the everyone. So in a jungle, his brother get killed by some tiger, and then it is jewel is taken by the Jambavana. And and they start criticizing the Lord Krishna. He's saying that he should give the jewel to that Ugrasena. Now I think he has steal the jewel by killing my brother. But when they see they go, when they do the searching, they found that it is the jewel is taken by the Jambavana. So, and that his brother is killed by the tiger, not by Lord Krishna. So he also fight with the Jambavana, and so he understand Jambavana is from the Rama age, na? So he understand he is so powerful. No one can fight with him. But he is get defeated by Lord Krishna. Then he understand he must be the god. He must be my Rama. Who is defeating me. So in return, he give the Shamanta Lata jewel, and also his daughter Satyabhama. So yes, like when we are not using our assets for in Krishna's service, when we are not using everything in Krishna's service, when Krishna is not centered, we are putting ourselves in a more and more suffering and more miserable condition. So we should use everything in Krishna's service. So Hare Krishna, everyone. Today we can end our session here. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंतकोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय Hare Krishna everyone. So we don't have to simply hear, but we have to apply those things in our life. Okay, Hare Krishna. And you can write your realizations in a group also, whatever things you learn. Okay,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Happy Krishna conscious day.
Krishna Mataji. Thank you.